Now, I hear over and over again that Republicans, that conservatives, Trump voters hate political correctness. They hate PC culture. I hear it all the time. You've got Trump voters that are like railing on against PC culture. How dare you tell us the words that we can and cannot use in our daily lives? How dare you try to tell us to be politically correct? I thought this was America. Now, Trump, when he went into office, of course, during the campaign trail and before he went into office, and even sometimes afterwards, railed against political correctness. That is a common theme among Republicans now. The liberals are telling us what we can and can't say. How disastrous. No, we tell you that you probably shouldn't say the N-word because it's terrible, and you're probably going to get your ass kicked. So don't say that, right? It's racist. But no, Trump voters are like, no, we deserve the right to be able to say the N-word. Amazing, right? But anyway, I'm getting far ahead of myself. Trump said this war, this political correctness, I should say, and this war on words. It's all supposed to end with President Trump, right? Now people will no longer have to be politically correct. We can all say Merry Christmas, as if there was some law that was saying that we couldn't. And everything was supposed to be great, right? Well, not if you work for the CDC. According to the Washington Post, citing official budget documents, right? The Trump administration is now prohibiting officials at the CDC from using a list of, for now, 7 words or phrases. Wait till you hear what they are. All right. Policy analysts at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta were told of the list of forbidden terms at a meeting on Thursday with senior CDC officials who oversee the budget, according to an analyst who took part in the 90-minute briefing. Now, the forbidden words are vulnerable, entitlement, diversity, transgender, fetus, and evidence-based and science-based. That's amazing. For one, they can't even say the word transgender. I guess because if somebody says it, they have to acknowledge that, oh, transgender people exist and they actually have health issues that we need to tend with. And the CDC, of course, does research in health-related fields. So, they can't even say the word transgender. That probably means also that they're not going to fund anything LGBT-related. That might actually help the LGBT community or help transgender people in specific. So you can't say that. Now, fetus. This is amazing. They can't even say the word fetus. That is the official scientific term, right? Fetus. No, can't say that. That is politically correct. We have to call them babies. What's next? Are they going to say that we can't say the word zygote? Again, that is a scientific term. No. You can't call them zygotes. You can't call them fetuses. You have to call them babies. Because that is the politically correct term for a developing human being in the womb. Because we've tested that. And when you say baby, suddenly support for ending abortion or banning abortion goes up. That's how this works. Anyway. And again, look, they're banning these words because President Trump and the Republican Neanderthals that are in charge are forcing them to not say those things. But they still have to say something, right? Well, some words and phrases have replacements, others do not. Here are some of the alternative phrases. Instead of science-based, the Washington Post writes, or evidence-based, the suggested phrase is CDC bases its recommendations on science in consideration with community standards and wishes. What does that even mean? What is this? Like, instead of saying science-based or evidence-based, which is fairly clear, right? It is based on the science. It is based on the evidence. We have come to this conclusion. No, it is replaced by, we have based our recommendations on science in consideration with community standards and wishes. What the fuck? What community? What are we even talking about? It means nothing. It means nothing. And look, okay, even if we're talking about a community, right? Even if there was something defined, well, Why should a community of what I assume to be non-scientists making scientific recommendations to the CDC? You know what I think this is code for? Me and my fundamentalist friends, we do not like evidence-based science. And so you can't say that. We're going to be politically correct and call it what it is. Not based on evidence, not based on science, but we can't say, hey, my flat earther friend said this, or my super religious fundamentalist friends in office, or my vice president, Mike Pence, thinks the earth is only 6,000 years old. Can't actually say that. We have to say that this is based on community, right? The community standards and wishes. The wishes of the community are now weighed more than scientific evidence. That's what this suggests. Okay. Now, of course, the HHS told the Washington Post, that's not it at all. No. The Department of Health and Human Services, which oversees the CDC, and this is where this directive is coming from, will continue to use the best scientific evidence available to improve the health of all Americans. HHS also strongly encourages the use of outcome and evidence data in program evaluations and budget decisions. But you can't even say that anymore. If you work for the CDC, you are not allowed to say in a paper, right, or write evidence-based or science-based in any of your conclusions. How? I don't understand. You're not making a good case for yourself. I mean, you're literally banning words. And look, they even banned the word diversity. Diversity. Who the hell is against diversity? Oh, right, white nationalists. The white nationalists who, of course, overwhelmingly prefer the Republicans and President Trump specifically. And then, of course, there's the religious fundamentalists, right? Now, these are the evangelicals that overwhelmingly voted for President Trump. They also happen to hate the LGBT community. So, no, get rid of transgender. We can't talk about those guys or gals. Can't talk about them at all. They don't exist. They're against Jesus. So we can't do anything about that, right? We can't talk about them. And especially we can't have any policy that directly relates to them. Political correctness. Now, the Post notes that several key departments, including the HHS, as well as the Justice, Education, and Housing, and Urban Development, have also changed some of their federal policies and how they collect government information about LGBT Americans. In March, for example, HHS dropped questions about sexual orientation and gender identity in 2 surveys of elderly people. Okay. And look, yeah, I understand elderly people, right? But what happens? I mean, when do you think that they're going to drop it for people who are not elderly? And why are they dropping it for elderly people at all? It doesn't make any sense unless you're looking at it as from a lens of, we just don't like these people, so we're just not going to, mention them at all. They no longer exist to us. Their needs no longer exist to us as an agency, as put forward by the president, vice president, and the GOP Congress. We don't care about these people. That's what they're saying. Now, HHS has also removed information about LGBT Americans from its website. The Department of Administration for Children and Families, for example, archived a page that outlines federal services that are available for LGBT people and their families, including how they can adopt and receive help if they are victims of sex trafficking. So there was this page, right? Federal services. Well, look, Trump administration, Republican administration, those services are gone, right? So, yeah, they're not there. So sex trafficking, hey, man, if you're LGBT and you happen to be sex trafficked, we do not care about you. We have no resources for you to help you. We don't care. We don't give a fuck. We're going to remove a page, and not only remove a page, but eliminate these services that will help you get out of that situation, again, because we don't care. Also, have we told you how pro-life we are? We love our babies. Can't say fetus. Can't say fetus. That's not allowed anymore. We got to use a politically correct term, baby. Sickening. Now, at the CDC, the meeting about these banned terms was led by a woman named Allison Kelly. Now, she is a career civil servant who is a senior leader in the agency's Office of Financial Services, according to this CDC analyst. Now, look, this isn't Allison Kelly's fault. All she's doing is she's relaying the information that she was told, right? Hey, man, look, this is what's coming on from on high. The HHS, they're telling us what we can and can't say. So this is what we got to do, right? So again, I'm not going to blame her. It's not her fault. This is coming from somewhere else, okay? Now, this person, this analyst, who basically has come out with all this information, is of course speaking on the condition of anonymity because she was not, or this person, sorry, he or she was not authorized to speak publicly. Now, Kelly did not say why the words were being banned, according to the analyst, and told the group that she was just merely relaying the information. Other officials at the CDC confirmed the existence of a list of forbidden words. It's likely that other parts of the HHS are operating under the same guidelines regarding the use of these words, according to this analyst. Now, again, this is important because the CDC handles a lot of stuff. Several offices have responsibility for work that uses some of these terms. The National Center for HIV/AIDS, Viral Hepatitis, STD, and TB Prevention is actually working on ways to prevent HIV among transgender people and reduce health disparities. The CDC's work on birth defects caused by the Zika virus includes research on the developing fetus, right? So this is like the first step in changing these, right? In eliminating these programs. You just admit that the people that you're working on don't actually exist. You come up with different words. It keeps making me think of erasure. No. If we just dehumanize these people and make sure that we don't have a term for them and don't reference them in papers, then we can slowly phase out these programs and nobody will notice until we have fully dehumanized them and made sure that we help that we give them absolutely no help through any sort of federal programs. Again, we don't care about these people. To us, these are not real Americans, and they don't deserve our help. That's what this says to me. Now, again, okay, the ban is related to the budget and supporting materials that are given to the CDC's partners in Congress, according to the analyst. Now, this person's job includes writing description of the CDC's work for the administration's annual spending blueprint. Could not recall the previous time when words were banned from budget documents because they were considered controversial. Now, who are they controversial to? Republicans, conservatives. It's not controversial to everybody else, but Republicans, conservatives are like, I can't, no, we're not going to talk about transgender people. They do not exist. We're going to call all babies, all fetuses babies, all zygotes are babies, all that stuff. And we can't talk about diversity or science-based or evidence-based anything. No, those are trigger words, and my snowflake cannot handle it. I will melt if I hear these words. Now, the CDC, the people who worked there, they were not impressed, okay? Now, the reaction of the people in the meeting was incredulous, according to the analyst. It was, quote, very much, are you serious? Are you kidding? No, they are not kidding. The Trump administration is using politically correct language, the very thing that they sit and accuse liberals of all doing. They're doing themselves. This is 100% a projection. Absolute projection. He also said, in my experience, we never had any pushback from an ideological standpoint. Until now. Again, go back to during the Obama administration. Oh my God, everybody's being so politically correct. Oh, it's political correctness. Everywhere in the government, they're telling us what we can and can't say. Except that when you actually look at the government, under a Republican versus under a Democrat, you see that under the Democrats, under the Obama administration, there was actually no political correctness in government. They weren't using these, they weren't banning any words. The Trump administration, they are banning a bunch of words. This is not the end too. This is just the beginning. 3 words, right, that have been flagged in the drafts, according to analysts, right, are vulnerable, entitlement, and diversity. And the ban on other words had been conveyed verbally. And look, this just shows you, man, everything they say about progressives and liberals is exactly what they're trying to do themselves. This is Orwellian bullshit. They say we want to ban words. They're the ones banning words. They're the ones that they absolutely want to ban words. They say we want to ban books. They say we want to ban history, tear down history. No, that's exactly what they want to do because they want to go and rewrite it to suit their own political agenda. They say that we want to control their lives. That's exactly what they want to do. You look at all their different laws, all the things that they actually try to do, and you see what they're doing. They even say that they believe, oh no, we believe in evidence. The evidence says that there's no climate change, there's no global warming whatsoever. That's not true. That's not true. They don't believe in evidence-based anything. It's bullshit. These people are fascist authoritarians, man. That's what they actually are. And in order to set up an authoritarian fascist dictatorship, and I'm not kidding when I say that, right? You have to, you start doing politically correct language. This is straight out of the Nazi handbook from the 1940s, 1930s, man. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying that Trump's a 100% Nazi. No, he's an idiot. But I'm saying is that they have authoritarian tendencies. And this is part of that. And yes, fascism is incredibly far right. It is a far right ideology where corporations and the state merge. And the state pushes corporate policies. What do you think is happening today? We have somebody who's definitely a wannabe authoritarian, who is just incredibly incompetent and idiotic. But nonetheless, he definitely wants to be an autocrat. He's just too stupid to be able to do it. But we got Republicans in there that are like, absolutely. You know what? We want to be autocrats too, because we love authoritarianism. We love telling people what they can do with their body, especially women. We love telling you what words you can and can't use that offend the sensibilities of our snowflake voter base that can't stand the word fetus and can't stand the fact that there are people that are different than them. How dare you? How dare you be transgender? No, get back in the closet. Gay people, get back in the closet. Now, this is a Republican time. It's our time, and we're telling you what to do. Fuck you. Fuck your authoritarian bullshit. Fuck your banned words, and fuck you. Am I clear? Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.